What's good, ladies and gentlemen? What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy Bunny 3000. Yes, it's me. In the place to be. You are with us here on the Ladies of the Round Table Network channel, experience, whatever you want to call it. But as usual, I'm here, and I still haven't heard from Thicket Nation, Dirty Helmato. I think he might be with us, not certain. This may be a dolo episode with your boy Bunny 3000. Makita is not gonna be able to make it this week, unfortunately. Again, I'm telling y'all, life can sometimes like knock you on your ass. So Makita's gonna try to be with us next week. She's dealing with some stuff still, but it's coming around from what she tells me. So she asks me to ask you guys to be patient with her. She will be back, and she will have plenty of opinions and updates to give us. So definitely stay tuned for that. But this is now. This is tonight. This is today. I definitely want to hear from you guys if I can't get Dirty Helmato in here. So just to kind of get things going along here, definitely let me know what you guys are playing out there, you know, what you guys are getting into, because for one thing, I do know that there's a lot of people out there playing Mortal Kombat. And no, I don't quite have Mortal Kombat footage to put up here. I know I've been trying to start this trend of putting, you know, footage to kind of go along with my yickety yakking and everything while we're you know, while we're doing everything here. Let's see, what am I going to put on here today? We'll put on a little bit of my what did I put on last time? We will put on a bit of my Star Drive gameplay. Let's see here. Whoa, not in front of my face. Put it over here and turn the sound down just a little bit. There we go. Still a little bit loud, ain't it? But yes, for those of you who don't know, I have had the pleasure of trying out a bit of Star Drive 2, and that is kind of the theme or the a part of today's title for today's episode. 4X. For those of you who don't know, for you people that aren't strategy buffs, has nothing to do with porn. It is basically some terminology that's used when it comes to a particular style of strategy games. And the one we are looking at here is from the people, the independent, I think it's an independent studio, Iceberg Interactive, I think. I think the very first game that they had, Star Drive, was a Kickstarter campaign, and they got it funded, and Star Drive was the result. I heard a little bit about it, but I wasn't 100% interested, because I didn't hear anything necessarily bad about it, but I didn't hear necessarily anyone raving about it either, so I didn't take the plunge. But I will say this. It is, well, like I was saying before, it is a 4X strategy game. And for those of you guys who don't know what 4X means, it means, let's see if I can get this right, explore, expand, exploit, and exterminate. And those are essentially the 4 different things that you do in games of this manner. I remember going through all the Master of Orion, Master of Magic, Age of Wonders, all those games. I didn't really get into Alpha Centauri and what's the other one? Civilizations or Colonization. Oh, here comes Thicket Nation. I didn't really get into those games really, but let's see if I can move this around so I can get Dirty Helmato in here. I will make me smaller just a little bit. When he comes on. But yeah, the concept there is you build your empire and you've got all kinds of stuff that's going to be coming at you, all kinds of other races and things of that manner. So there goes Dirty Helmato. Let's see if we can get him in here real quickazoid as you watch some of my gameplay over there. Right there. Gameplay. Hold on, let's see. Dickination, is you there? Hello. We will send him a call. Doop 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 doop. Annoying beep. Annoying beep. Oh, there he goes. Oh, that's fantastic. We actually get the facial of Dickination rather than the crotch of Dickination. Yay! I'm glad you figured that part of it out, homie.
That was one time.
One time is all it takes, homie. What's good? What's good? What's going on, man?
Running late as usual. I need to stop having kids and a family and a life.
Ew. Yeah, well, yeah, the kids thing definitely. You should not do that much anymore. You don't need no more.
No.
Don't need no more.
Cut off, son.
Yeah, basically. I don't need no more either. But I don't know. You know what? I say that now, and a part of me thinks that I wouldn't mind having more. You know what I mean?
No, I don't.
You don't know what I mean?
No.
You're like,
because you know what? You haven't been experiencing the stuff that I'm experiencing yet.
That's very true.
So wait till you get there and, start acting like bigger monkeys.
Bigger monkeys.
Bigger monkeys.
Oh, bigger monkeys.
Yeah, you change your mind real quick. I love kids, but I would have rather had them, I'd say 10 years ago if I could. Back then, and just get them all out the way. Because
right.
at this point, I mean, no. No.
You're like,
No. I don't know how people do it. They have kids like in their late 30s and 40s. That kid's going to be with you at least minimum for 20 years. So that means by the time you're 60, they just getting ready to leave.
That's right. You better keep it. You better keep that physique tight. Start doing some yoga, homie.
Yeah, they'll keep it tight for you. Don't even sweat that.
Oh man, heck yeah. But yes, I was letting the people know when you came in that we've been grinding, trying to do some things here at Geekswagg. You finally gotten your streaming down pat. Makita is finally slowing down on the whole work thing. She's been going through some shiznits with work, and she thinks she might be able to make it next week.
Nice.
Maybe. She was helping somebody. Yeah, she was helping a coworker out. Yeah, she was helping a coworker out with the shift today, so she wasn't going to be able to make it. But kind of the way I was essentially before you came in, I was explaining to the peoples why I named the episode the way that I did. I called it 4X is not a porn rating. I think I said title on one of the little posts, but it's not a porn rating. There is a reason why I called it that. Why I put that in there, because I kind of wanted to talk about the game that is shown over on that way, on my right, my left, over there. The gameplay that I kind of have showing right now. It's a game by Iceberg Interactive that I just finished writing up the review for. Actually, I'm gonna try to see if I can do a video review. Maybe later on this weekend. I don't know. I might have some time this week. But it's essentially I don't want to call it a Master of Orion clone, but it is that, it's essentially in that same ilk, I think the first Star is called Star Drive 2, and I think the first one they actually started, or they did, as a Kickstarter campaign, and they got funded, and the very first Star Drive was the result. And from what I could tell, the really big draw for this game, as with most, I guess you could say, as with most PC games nowadays, is, the mod community loves having a good foundation and then just taking whatever it is in that game and then just porting in whatever realm or universe that they love into the game, right?
Right.
So, what was particularly interesting about this game was, have you ever played Master of Orion before?
I haven't played Master of Orion or 4K.
4X.
4K.
But essentially, the term 4X just stands, and I said this a little bit earlier to some people. It stands for explore, expand, exploit, and exterminate. Stupid.
I just rolled in there.
But you basically take on those 4 actions, and you lead your galactic empire against a wide array of different races or alien species or whatever. So as you can kind of see right here, I opened up probably I basically closed it out. But the big aspect of this game that, from my understanding, people were geeked up about was, in these games, when you start your little colony on Earth or on whatever the home planet is, and then you send out your ships to colonize other planets and explore and all that other kind of stuff, right? And as you're doing that, you're building up your star fleet. You building up your fleet of starships and fighters and cruisers and all this other kind of stuff, right? So that when you encounter something hostile, you'll be able to destroy whatever space fleet that they have, right?
Right.
So in this game, in some games they'll have very, very few options in terms of what kind of weapon systems or stuff that you can build your ships or whatever out of. But this game was very, 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 very
Dun-dun-dun?
Say what?
Dun-dun-dun?
No. It had
that game looked boring as all shit, let me tell you.
Well, that's because you don't play strategy games like this. It's one of those that if you like strategy games, this is a decent one. And like I was saying before, the portion of it that, when it comes to strategy games, was the main feature of this game is you're able to customize the different kinds of ships that you can build in your fleet. So you can it puts out say what?
You get to kill anything?
Well, that's why you build the fleet, so you can
blow
other stuff up.
Do you actually get to kill anything, but you just point and click and tell your little fleet to run?
Well, that's what a strategy game is. You tell your little fleet or your people to go and do this, and they go and do it. That's what strategy games are.
I know. Sorry, not a fan of
I
those.
know you're not a fan of strategy games. This is for people that are fans of strategy games, so shut up, nigga.
I can't, yo.
Shut it.
Put me to sleep, yo.
They asked me to review the game, so I'm letting the people know what the dealio, okay? Just shut up for a minute. Just shut up. Cut it. Shut it, nigga. Shut it.
It sucks.
So, as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, they basically, after you do all your customization in your fleet and you build up your fleet and send them out, you're going to encounter all kinds of races and all kinds of other aliens and stuff. So the game also does a decent job of providing, other little events and things that you'll run into that'll help you build your technology, or find heroes that'll lead your colonies, and they'll have extra little abilities, and they'll help your colony be more profitable, or they'll help your colony have better spies, or better production rate or better farming rate, so that your colonies can have the right amount of food or extra food, that kind of thing. So it does a decent job of providing that. But the issue that I saw with this, compared to other strategy games that I've played, is the combat. It said, oh, hey, Knight 3666. This game, I'm sorry, this game is, and probably, you know what I should do? I should put like the name of the game down here while I'm doing that. The name of this game is Star Drive 2. But yeah, the problem that I kind of had with this game, Star Drive 2, was there wasn't really much of anything aside from the customization of the ships that really sets it apart. Because if you think about it, when it comes to a 4X strategy game, you're gonna want a bit more than one aspect of that game to really, or one small aspect of the game to really pull you along, to really set itself apart from the other games. For some people, that aspect is enough. They love to be able to mod a game, and like this game in particular, you could take like Star Trek. I've seen people take the old Star Drive game, and they like turned all the ships into Star Trek ships, so that you could I don't know, make up any kind of Starfleet ship or something like that, or a Klingon ship or something like that. And I'm certain there's probably other mods on the first Star Drive where they did like Battlestar Galactica or who knows what else. So I'm certain once those tools open up for this game as well, you'll see all kinds of mods for that as well. But the thing that kind of got me about this game is, aside from that ship customization, there really wasn't a whole lot that would really push me to play this game over, say, maybe Master of Orion 3, or Master of Orion 2 for that matter. I mean, it does look nice. It's nice and shiny. The menu system is decent enough. It did take me a little while to get used to be able to go from colony to colony, figure out how to manage the fleet, send the fleet where I wanted to send it. And probably the one thing that I had the biggest issue with was if I colonized a planet that your colony wasn't able to produce food there, I couldn't figure out how to get freighters to send food from one colony to the next so that they could stay alive. So on my first playthrough, I colonized whatever planet I could find, and then I realized that they couldn't make food, and I couldn't get food to them in time, so they were all dying. So I'd make all these colony ships, and all my colonies would die because they couldn't generate food themselves. So as you explore, that's definitely one of the things you have to take into account. You gotta research all the different planets that you find. You'll see little wormholes like you see there, asteroid belts. You'll be able to get a whole lot of resources from them, but again, you won't be able to get any food out of the asteroid belt, so you have to set up something so that you can remedy that. So of course, in order to do that, you got to do a lot of research, get that kind of technology, and then of course just hope. As you see, one of the battles here, well, no, that actually wasn't a battle. I just auto did that particular battle because I knew I was gonna lose. But yeah, you have to you have to research as much as you can so that when those aliens pop up, that you have some kind of shot of surviving, because otherwise they're gonna surpass you quick. So it took me a little while to kind of get back into the swing of learning what to research first, how many ships to send out to explore, which direction, all that kind of stuff. You have to figure that out because these games are really hard, and it takes a lot of planning in order for you to figure out how to do it and not get swarmed by all the different alien species that end up coming at you in this game. So yeah, Star Drive 2, it is a decent game for those who like strategy games, Thicken Nation. And it's not for Dirty Helmato, ladies and gentlemen. He's made that very clear. Dirty Helmato says no.
They're just horrible.
They're not horrible. There's horrible. A reason why so many people buy those games and they make.
Because they like horrible games too.
Oh,
okay. I'm not hating.
Yes, you is. That's why you called it horrible. It's not a horrible game if people like it.
I just don't think it's worth all that time.
It is. That's why they're out there. I don't get you sometimes. You crazy, man.
No, hey, just because somebody put it out doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah, but just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's good either. If somebody likes it, there's a reason why. If somebody likes it, then that's good.
No, it doesn't depend on me, but I bet you there's not a whole bunch of people like you, of course. Knowing you argue me to death on it. Yeah, Jay, there's like 50 billion people that love strategy games over anything. No, they're not.
There's a lot of people that like strategy games. That's why Sid Meier makes strategy games, and he makes a lot of money off of it. That's why Civilizations comes out like once every like couple of years or something like that, because people like those kind of games. If they didn't, they wouldn't make them.
They make them anyway.
No. They wouldn't make them over and over again if they didn't sell. And that's a fact. It's a fact.
They make a lot of stuff that's horrible over and over again. Look at the
big companies do, yeah.
Yeah, look at the Taken series. The first one was good. The last two sucked, and they just keep making. Look at Fast and Furious.
That because people buy them.
I'm not going to argue that point, but that's what it is.
What?
Yeah, let's move next topic.
You said. I'm going to put this up here, though, real quick. Let the people know what it is. Star Drizzle. Star Drizzle. Star Drizzle. There we go. That way people will know what it is as it's going there. Okay. Thicken, so before we jump into the rest of it, let the people know what you've been getting into, Thicken Nation, since you feel neglected and you want to talk about something that you feel is good, and I'm going to poo-poo all over whatever you say. Go. Go ahead.
You can poo-poo over what I say, but what I know
go ahead. What, you play some baseball? Fun. Yeah, baseball.
Dude, I have been racking. Baseball is freaking awesome. Like you said, they wouldn't make it if it wasn't good.
Baseball sucks. They don't nobody play baseball.
MLB The Show is the best.
Nobody even knows what MLB The Show is.
Sim out there. Okay, I bet you beat Star Fox 12 there.
Star Fox? What?
Whatever the hell that game was. Stardust. This is Star Masturbation, Star Porno X.
Yes. Yes. All three of those.
I've been playing MLB The Show. And I've been playing, that's it. All I've been playing is MLB The Show. I'll probably be playing a little bit of NBA this week. I'm going to do some playoff Johnsons tomorrow. So
yeah, no, I gotta jump into that too, yo.
Just getting MLB going and getting basketball going because they got a lot of good matchups. They got a lot of good first round matchups.
Yes.
So I'm definitely going to be doing that tomorrow night. I'll probably be playing a couple games. I'm not sure who's on the roster for tomorrow night, like who's playing.
What in terms of basketball?
Yeah, the brackets. I haven't seen it. Who's playing tomorrow night?
The Spurs game against the Clippers, the Portland game, I think. I gotta look at it because I've got it right. Well, not right here in front of me, but I'll look it up.
There's a couple. So I mean, if you want to did you see that game? Do a matchup to tomorrow if you want. If not, I'll be going solo.
If you do it, because I have to stream here on Ladies at the Round Table, around 10. If you're still up,
I'll be up.
We could do a game then.
Yeah, if you want, we'll do at 10 o'clock. We'll do on the Ladies at the Round Table there. I'll just join your session.
Yeah.
I'll do something a little earlier than that.
Okay, here it is. Wow, there's only one game tomorrow. That's weird. Yeah, San Antonio and LA is tomorrow, and it's late. It's like at 10:30.
Yeah, the Clippers handed them it last game.
Yeah, they did. Freaking Blake Griffin went off.
He was definitely ready.
Yeah, ready's an understatement.
Yes, CP was on fire as usual.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the Spurs, but I'm waiting for the Clippers team to be due, man. And I hope they get. I don't think they're gonna win a ring this year, but I'm hoping they get deep into the playoffs where they make some minor adjustments next year to to become that dominant team.
You know, honestly, I would love to see them just do it with who they have. Honestly, I don't see much of anything wrong with the roster that they have. I just think
what
it's
is it
all
like that play?
execution.
What do you think they play? Sometimes I feel like they get a little too passive.
Well, that you know how that is. That comes with experience, and that also comes with all your stars just going bonkers when they need to. And last year Blake couldn't because he was like injured, and that was huge for them. And he couldn't go off. He couldn't go hard last year in the playoffs because he was just injured. So
he was hurt, and DeAndre Jordan, he can't muscle up everybody all the time. So he needs that.
Sitting there by himself.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so much he can do in the paint. I mean, those two are very dominant down there. But I mean, like I said, I like the Spurs, but I would like to see.
I hate the Spurs.
The reason I don't.
I've always hated them. Well, no, I don't hate them, but I just
think they're just a fine-tuned machine.
They're freaking awesome. They're just like the way they are. The Spurs are the way a dominant basketball team in any sport or any league should play. They just are. Yep. They have so many weapons. They're beautifully coached. They're basically the New England Patriots of the NBA.
I would agree.
You know what I mean? It's like everybody fears them. They don't have to dominate the regular season because when it comes playoff time, that they have just enough and they have the right personnel that all of a sudden you're going to be like, okay, who is going to destroy me this game?
Right.
And for some reason,
right. It's one person. It'll be somebody off the bench too.
Yeah.
It'll be like a Boris Diaw just start killing you.
Freaking Popovich is like a master at that.
Yeah.
It's like you'll know who on the starting lineup that they're going to focus on. But it's like every year, and it's different every year. On the bench, somebody on the bench in the playoffs, he gives them serious minutes and tells them, like, look, you better put in work, and they do.
They do.
You know what I mean? And it's like it ends up having to be something like completely super heroic from the opposite team in order for them to lose. And exactly. that's why.
And that's why I was shocked at that first game stomping that they got there because it was just.
I wasn't surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised that they would lose. But I didn't think that we're going to get dominated on both ends the way they did.
Oh, it'll change.
I know that will change. The Clippers can't, bet that. But like for them to win, which I believe the Clippers can win, they're going to have to keep up that intensity.
Yes.
All the time. And against a Spurs team, like the thing is they're not all the sequence, but they had this one beautiful sequence where they were doing vintage Spurs. They just passed the ball until somebody got open.
Yeah. It's like they have it was like I was saying earlier. They have the personnel. They're just young. Or younger. You know what I mean?
Well, I hope they've gotten burnt enough. Those first round disappointments.
They've been burnt. Plenty.
Yeah. I mean, they just have first round disappointment. I just hope they get it together and, win it. I mean, the Spurs is a tough team to beat in the first round. If they do beat them in this first round, I would think they would have a really, really good chance of winning because it'll either put everything into them or take everything out of them.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm happy to see that they did get that game because some of these other games are just painful. But yep, we'll do some matchups.
We'll do some of that tomorrow.
Tomorrow I'll also be doing some more of that Thursday. That's my night that I usually try to do it. Actually, I'll probably only get that one game with you or two if you can. After 10 tomorrow, and then Thursday I'll probably be putting in a lot more streaming because I got some great baseball matchups too, baby. Oh yeah! So while
I'll be
star
driving it up while you do that. No, they
it's all good, man.
Was
send your forces to Alderaan, you know.
No. I was you know what? We were, last week we were telling people we were gonna be ES online and all weekend and everything. And you know what I realized on like Thursday?
What's that?
That this free weekend or whatever that they were having was only for people that had already participated in the beta.
Yes.
And I forgot that. And that was the thing. I didn't participate in the
That's
beta.
Why I was wondering
I had
why
an
you
old
didn't
key.
say anything.
I had a key, but I couldn't find it. So I wasn't certain whether or not, if I had the old key, whether or not they'd use that to say, oh yeah, because I didn't use it back then. So I wasn't certain whether or not they were going to allow me to use it because I couldn't find it. So meh.
Yeah, they sent me a new key, and I played a little bit on Saturday. I didn't get to play a lot. This weekend was just like too nice, and
it was.
I couldn't stay in the house. I was a little open. I went out a lot, and so I
did
was
too. I was grilling. Oh. You know what I was telling you about? Did I tell you about my son's ATV?
No, he has an ATV.
Yeah. Like last Friday, I had to take a half day because they were delivering it. So my mother-in-law she bought him one of those Chinese 110cc engine ATVs, right? And it's gas powered and everything. And I had to unbox it. I had to assemble it, mess around with it and tinker with it. And of course, it's Chinese made, so the instructions are god awful. And it's temperamental, just like one of those old lawnmowers that that if you don't do it just right, or if a butterfly isn't flying over your head in just the right angle, that it doesn't start. So I was messing around with it all weekend, basically. I got it to work on. Quit whistling at me. I got it to work on.
Texting.
I got it to work on Friday, and he was driving around on it, flying around, and thankfully it's got one of those speed limiter or throttle limiting screws on it, so that it won't take off on them.
Right. And
then for some reason it decided to have an attitude for the rest of the weekend, and I couldn't get it to start.
Wouldn't start up?
Yeah, I couldn't get it to start. I ended up changing the oil because you're not really supposed to keep the oil that it comes in there. So I let it break it. I broke it in with the early oil that first day. And then I changed it. I really didn't change it until when was that? Sunday?
Oh, okay.
But I tried to start it on Saturday, and it just wouldn't start. I spent Lord knows how long playing. And the problem was the choke on the dang thing wasn't labeled correct. Well, it's not that it's not labeled correctly. It's not labeled at all. So I didn't know what position.
Those stink because if you don't put the choke in the right place, the thing ain't gonna start anyway.
Yeah, that's what pissed me off. So I was playing around with it in like multiple positions to try to see if I could get it to start, and it just wouldn't. I just couldn't get it to start. So I still have to play around with it more, or else my son's like gonna choke me out.
You know what, dude?
Because he asked me every single day, Dad, can I ride the ATV? I'm like, dude, I just got home. I haven't even cooked dinner yet. Can we like cook and eat and do all this other kind of stuff? I just want to go outside. I'm like, stop.
I just want to go out for an hour.
Yeah, basically that's what he wants to do all the time. So I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
Do you have the rent? You got the rent?
I know, right? I was like, ugh.
You got the rent? I came for some more of the rent.
Yeah, but I mean, I was supposed to stream and do some stuff this weekend too, And starting tomorrow, I'll actually be able to talk about one of the games that I played because it's on a media embargo until tomorrow. But it's the Xbox One version of State of Decay. I got that, and I've been playing it over the weekend, so I'll be able to talk more about that probably the next show. Say what?
How much was it?
I think it goes on sale. I think it's like $30. I think
30,
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, the 360 version was like $15. I think. Maybe.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't that much.
Oh yeah, the 360 version was mad cheap.
Yeah, they want $30 because I was looking at it today. I saw.
Well, it's gone down. You have to remember, it went down in price since it was released. It may be $15 now, but it wasn't 15 when it first came out.
When it first came out, yeah, because they other little side stuff, actually some work news. They got some if anybody cares, which probably no one do, but like they got some deals on Call of Duty Ghosts on the one. Yeah,
talk about games, it's
yeah, they do. You know what I don't get like that. It's like why would nobody wants Ghosts, man? And you know what's so funny? That they're still selling it for these high prices. So like even after a year's up, you can't get anything good, for it. Yeah, I mean, like a decent price. I mean, you can't get a decent price.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the hell they're doing. It's like, oh, we're giving you a break. We're selling Call of Duty Ultimate Pack for $30.
They're getting rid of inventory. All they're doing is they're getting rid of inventory. It's out there, so they're just trying to get rid of it and sell it at any price that they can, so they can get it off people's shelves. Because that's mostly
this is digital copies of it too. So those are
the same thing. They have keys and stuff like that. They're never gonna not sell it. They're just gonna put it out there.
So I was hoping they would put like maybe like the new one out there. Maybe give you a 30% or 40% discount on that.
No.
Like why would we want to do that? Should rake everybody up?
No. But no, the reason why I can say this much about State of Decay. The reason why it's $30 because it includes all the DLC that they released.
Okay.
For the original game.
Okay, so it's everything.
Yeah, so it's the original game and then the other 2 DLC.
Bad. That's doable. You can swallow that.
Yeah. It's and again, next show I'll talk more about it and how it's different and all that other kind of stuff. Because me, I went all in on the 360 version. I played that thing until Lord knows I just played that game so much on the 360 it wasn't even funny. But it's a great game. It's a great game on the 360, and I will let people know how it is on the Xbox One. But we shall continue on our journey here. Did you hear, Thicket Nation, or see any of the vids or any of the things that people were saying about the recent Guitar Hero Live gameplay footage or what it's about? Did you see any of that?
You know what? I was looking at some of it this afternoon. I saw this big thing on IGN that they were covering some of the stuff, and I didn't get a chance to completely look at it because I had to actually go do work. Oh my god!
Oh, shut up!
I know. Get out of my face.
So I'll break it down for you because it's kind of quick. They had I guess it was a stream session or something like that. They had some kind of session where they revealed Guitar Hero Live. But of course they one-upped Harmonix, as they tried to call it, by actually showing gameplay of their game. So here's their strategy, and I'm sorry to whoever develops or makes Guitar Hero Live, but I'm already poo-pooing it right now. And let me tell you why. And let me tell you why. Number one, they're creating a whole new guitar controller. So you can't use any of the old controllers. There's a whole new guitar controller.
Yeah, saw that.
And apparently the way the controller is, it's still up at the top of the neck, and the way that you I was gonna pull out my guitar just to show it, but no, that's not even necessary. The way that you are able, you know how when you're doing chords, you know, you're switching from string to string and everything. They basically have it set up so instead of, you know, you know what? I'll just pull it up. So you know how when you're doing a chord, you know, you got your fingers all up like this. So essentially, the buttons are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They've only got 6 buttons, but it's like at the very top of the neck. You know, so it's like almost like a toggle on 3 portions of or 3 frets of the neck, and that's basically where their new buttons are. And there's no more buttons at the bottom of the neck, like on each one of the Guitar Hero or Rock Band controllers. So there's no more at the bottom of the neck. It's all up here, up at the top. So, but you know, the strum bar is still the same. So that's number 1, right? So, and I mean that's not a killer, but you know, if you think about it, there's a big reason why, you know, those games kind of went downhill back in the day, because you know it was very expensive. Those guitar controllers didn't last very long, and it just got dang expensive. And it still is. I mean, try to get a guitar controller for Rock Band now, and you'll see prices anywhere from like freaking $40 or $60 up. You know, and that could be for even like a PS2 controller or, you know, 360 controller. They're still expensive.
That sounds cheap, because I was trying to replace my drum set. And just the drum set alone, people were asking over $100 for it.
Yeah, it's still expensive.
Yeah, very.
So
and these aren't even brand new; they're used.
Yeah, it's the used ones. Yes, it's hard to find brand new ones nowadays. So that's number 1. Okay, number 2, and I don't know if you saw the actual gameplay footage, but let me. I'll try to see if I can find a picture of it.
It looks pretty sweet.
Honestly, I don't like the way it looks. But it's not a big deal, because I mean, if you think about it, when you're playing one of those Guitar Hero or Rock Band games, you're not really worried about how colorful it is, or you know how many, you know, what's in the background. You're more focused on
hitting the keys and everything.
Yeah. I'll put up a picture of it real quick just to kind of show people what I'm talking about, because their big thing with this is that they're getting rid of all the little avatars and stuff like that. So they were kind of joking, saying that, oh, you know, you don't want to put in all these little colors and avatars and stuff. He like Rock Band. You know, I'm like, don't even start, dude.
Dude, the avatars were freaking fresh.
Yeah, I mean, I like that part, but in truth, that's not, you know, really a aspect of the game that you're really concerned about. It's the music.
It's the music, but the avatars, I thought, you know, gave a certain style, like well,
it gave it personality. You know, you could always look at
presence too,
you could
because
look at
like
it and say, hell yeah, I'm playing you know, rock. You could instantly say, oh, this is rock. So I'm putting it over my face. I won't put it over your face. I'll be nice. So their whole big thing with Guitar Hero Live is the live aspect of it, and as you can see in this picture, the way that they're trying to do it is, instead of using avatars and cartoons and colors, they're using full motion. They call it FMV, full motion video. So they basically took like a few hundred people that you see in the crowd, and they, you know, had them all as the crowd, and they had real band members that act as your band mates, and they react to how you play. The crowd reacts to how you play, and so does do your bandmates. So if you play bad or poorly or whatever, your bandmates might come over and flip you the bird, or the crowd might start booing, and you'll see the crowd, see and hear the crowd do that. So, you know, they were trying to make it so that it gives you almost like a first-person view of a guitarist in a band on stage, to kind of give you like stage fright. Or I don't know, something. You know, they were just trying to, you know what I mean? They're trying to do something to that effect, right? So it's interesting to kind of see that they're going in that direction. But and I was looking at like a video that GameStop, the editors at GameStop, they were reacting to the experience, right? And even they said that, you know, when you're, because that full motion video that I'm talking about, that first person view is only on the single player mode, where you're doing like your single player story mode. So they were like, they could see like the little intro screens where you're getting ready to get on stage and stuff getting old quick. You know what I mean? Because, you know, it shows like a guitar tech giving you the guitar, and you're walking around backstage, and you're twiddling your thumbs, and then you're walking up the steps, and you're like, dude, just get on stage and let me play the damn song. You know what I mean? So they, you know, they were like, they could see a lot of that full motion video just being kind of not necessarily worthless, but just being background noise and not really something that really adds much of anything to the whole experience, really. And then the other part of it is they what was the other part? They where is it? The way that they I heard that they're approaching the music is because this game is going to be completely different from Guitar Hero. Of course, you're not going to be able to use any of the old Guitar Hero songs and stuff that you bought or had. I mean, it wasn't like they had a huge library to begin with. So that's already an X in my book. But the interesting thing they did say about how they're going to flesh out their library is they're going to have like a set list of songs, I guess, that you'll be able to play right off top. But they're going to actually have channels. And I'm not certain or very clear on how this will work, but apparently they're going to have paid and free radio stations. Whereas they're playing the song, they play the video for the song. So you'll see the song, you know, you'll see the video and you'll play along with the song, right? And the catch is, since it's on a station or on a radio station, what they're trying to say is that it'll be online, live all the time, so that when that song is on and you're playing it, you're actually playing it against everybody else that's on that channel. So you'll see your name fluctuate on a leaderboard, right? So apparently what they're aiming for on this is, okay, you'll be able to play certain songs on these stations. And of course, they'll have different genres or different, well, yeah, I guess different genres at different parts of the hour on each station. And then on the paid stations, you can pay for, you know, I guess they'll actually be keyed in on a specific genre or something like that. But you pay to play on a particular radio station. And, you know, that's kind of how they're going to address their quote-unquote music library or something like that, which is kind of odd because I'm not certain how that'll even work, because I think even beyond the station, I think you'll even be able to buy specific songs so that you'll be able to play your own playlist. So they're kind of mixing it up a little bit, and again, I really think it's going to be extremely dependent on what songs that they'll have available and how many, you know. It'll be interesting to see how many of these stations will even be available in the game. But yeah, that's Guitar Hero Live. Kind of uncertain whether this is a good strategy or not, but only time will tell. And it was, you know, it's kind of like everyone that I've been reading has been saying. There's a reason why the whole rhythm, I guess what is it called? Rhythm game or whatever it's called. Music rhythm game. There's a reason why the whole genre died out in the past. And it doesn't seem like whoever's doing Guitar Hero Live now recognizes that fully. So it'll be interesting to see, even with this new controller and these radio stations, whether anyone's really going to buy into the whole Guitar Hero Live direction. You know, me personally, I don't see a lot of people wanting to fork out the dollars for, you know, all new controllers and all that other kind of stuff.
Yeah, but, the game is going to be like, if you want to get like the old one, they were like $150.
Yeah,
you figure probably about $200 for a band set.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I don't think it's going to be band. It's just a guitar. They aren't doing drums and all other kind of stuff. They're strictly Guitar Hero with a guitar. It's not Guitar Band or any of that stuff. It's just a guitar. That's it.
Well, I'm talking. Well, this is Guitar Hero, but I'm talking about like when Rock Band comes through. That they might try to squeeze 200 bones out of you for.
Oh, if you get brand new stuff, yeah, I could easily see Rock Band doing that, but they still have an advantage though. You know what I mean? Mainly because you can use the old stuff or you can buy new. But the whole key for Rock Band, and the other difference is going to be Rock Band is only on the next gen consoles. Right?
Right.
But Guitar Hero Live is going to be on next gen, it's going to be on 360, it's going to be on PS3, it's going to be on, I think it's going to be on Wii U, and probably even on mobile.
Well, it's weird. I always thought Guitar Hero, they started off with the with the guitar, the music playing game, but they kind of almost reminded me like of damn, what's the company I'm thinking of?
Don't know about it.
Back in the 70s.
No, nobody definitely
Xerox.
know that.
Xerox. It kind of remind me of Xerox. They had IBM came out with their computer. Microsoft came out with Windows, and they invented the mouse, and it was they kind of scrapped it. They had this great idea and they didn't have vision, and then another company comes and picks it up, adds it a part of their hardware. The next thing you know, the thing is like one of the greatest inventions that we still use today. And I kind of felt like they did that. They started off with Guitar Hero when it first came out. I got it for the PS3 and I thought it was fantastic. And it just took them a long time to adapt after Rock Band came out, and they kind of lost there. And it seems like they're doing the same thing with this, next generation, software.
The whole story of Guitar Hero is kind of weird anyway, because I think Harmonix actually developed Guitar Hero first.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think Harmonix developed Guitar Hero first, like the very first one. I think they did the first one, and then I think after that, another developer took over Guitar Hero, and then they ended up developing Rock Band. And then this Guitar Hero Live, I think, is even a completely different developer than the one that took over Guitar Hero when it started going downhill. But so yeah, it's weird to see it go in this particular direction. We will see what comes of it.
I hope it's good just to keep competitiveness amongst games.
Yeah, because I love the genre. I really do. I really do. And I've said this before. Guitar Hero is basically the reason. Not the reason, but it was the catalyst for me to actually want or get the courage to, or not even the courage, but it was really just the catalyst for me to spark or re-spark my love of guitar and learning to play it and listening for it and listening to music differently. You know, because that's kind of how. And and for those guys who are out there that don't know this, I had a really interesting conversation with Harmonix. I think it was about a month ago, and when they were talking about what they the reasons why they can't get certain songs, one of the things that they reminded people was they have to have the master version of each song, because they have to tinker with the way the song sounds in order for you to be able to hear the instruments that you're going to play. So, the versions that you'll hear on a Rock Band or even on Guitar Hero are going to sound different from the version that you have, on your iPod or something like that. Because they'll tweak the sound of certain instruments so you'll hear it a little more clearly.
Right. You have to, because you got, that game is based off your senses, and
Right.
that's something tough to do. I
Right.
mean, people see it, but there's a lot of work that goes behind games like that. I mean, to get, you know,
Yeah,
for you,
it's not as simple as them just going and saying, "Oh, let me
no,
pull something off of iTunes and then
no,
play
they
along with
can't.
iTunes." They can't do that.
Oh yeah,
It doesn't work that way.
that music's been dubbed over so many times. You don't even know. I mean, you might be 50 layers down where you think you got an original.
Yeah, no, it's wild, and so yeah, Rock Band has really it really changed the way that I listened to music, not only rock music, but just music period. I started keying in and listening to how drummers played, and I kind of made up my own, I guess, criteria for what I felt was a good drumming sequence or a good drummer, as well as in guitar play, great soloists, great chord progressions and all that other kind of stuff. And it really got me so into it that, as you saw here, I have my guitar. And yes, Jay, I did manage to cough up some money, and I probably shouldn't have done this, but this is how my mind works. If I pay for something, in my mind is actually going to help me and push me to actually do it. There was some online course or something like that, or a group of online courses that was on sale on like Amazon Local or something like that for $18, right? So it was like a year's worth of online guitar lessons from guitar. I think it's called GuitarDangerous.com or something like that. So they've got a lot of videos, and where you can learn songs or you can just learn skills, and for all different kinds of levels and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what, maybe this will be what I need to kind of kick myself in the ass and actually be able to do something with my guitar finally. So I paid for it. I'm actually gonna try it out, and start trying to do some this weekend. I'm gonna set aside a time, hopefully every day, every night, to at least just do, even if I just do 30 minutes a day. And I'm going to try to just say, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to sit down at this time, and I'm going to go, okay, let's go. Let's do it. Let's play let's just play the scales, or let's play the opening to Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. I don't care. Anything. I'm actually going to try to stick with it and do it. I mean, me, I had, what was a Rocksmith? I've had Rocksmith 20, which ones are those? I think I've got 2013 and 2014. Yeah, 2013 and 2014. And, I would spend maybe a couple of weeks, playing those. And then all of a sudden they'd start throwing in chords and switching chords in the middle of a song after I get that one, that one string down, and all of a sudden they start throwing chords in there, and I just go, oh shit, oh. You know what I mean? I can't. Yeah, exactly. And it ends up going too fast for me. So I gotta actually do that and actually try to and actually try to stick with it. And actually. Get
I was gonna actually.
What up, Big Mikey Ocho?
I was going to actually hire Kirk Hammett from Metallica.
Oh yeah, word.
Teach me.
He was going to teach you.
Summer.
Over the summer. Oh, that's nice of him.
We're going to hang out, go to bars and stuff.
Word. Yeah. I was gonna get Jimi Hendrix Ghost to help me while you doing that. He's just.
I was trying to get that, but I heard somebody booked him. I didn't know it was you.
Yeah, it was me. I went to the Ghostbusters, and they broke him out of the containment facility just for me, so that I could do my Guitar Hero sessions with them. Just for me.
Just for you.
Exactly.
I hear that. Well, maybe next year I'll get him.
Nah, son. Oh man, Lord of mercy, we've been on this for a while. We actually do have other stuff we should talk about.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I was interested in what you were talking about last week, so I did some looking up my own, that Mortal Kombat deal.
Mortal Kombat.
I spent a little time this early Saturday morning looking at some other people streaming on Twitch.
Dude, that
And I'm
game looks
like,
so good.
it looks like fun. And
I'm very close to actually going back on my word and just saying, you know, F it.
you gonna buy it?
I'm close. I'm getting closer
I was
because
close
the more and
this
more
weekend.
I watch it, I'm like, oh, dude.
Well, there was something that threw me off, right? So I went because I wanted to find out, because I'm a loser. I wanted to find out about these one button fatalities, right?
Oh, it's
So
not
I'm
one
looking,
button. It's two button.
2 button, 1 button, whatever it
Yeah,
is, right?
easy
So
fatalities. Yep.
so I'm looking this up, right? And this guy had wrote an article. He was bashing it, He was throwing it apart. I wish I didn't save the article, but I was just so disturbed by it. He's
Really?
like, hey, I bought these fatalities, right? So apparently the fatalities, which sucks. You have to pay for them. They should be unlocked in like the
well, the easy fatalities.
right, the easy fatality.
Yes.
And I agree with you. They should be like an unlock, because you get crypt money when you beat characters and XYZ, and you can spend like a good half an hour just going through the crypt, open up graves, and you get unlocks, right? So the cat said after he spent I guess there was a bundle package or something. I guess after you use them, they go away.
Oh,
and you
really?
And you have to keep rebuying them.
No way! That's busted.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I'm like,
oh man!
So, I know you talked about just initially buying them and you would keep them. So, but now apparently when you use them, they're gone.
Wow!
And if you want them, you gotta go back and buy them.
That's microtransactions for your ass.
Right? And he was talking. I gotta find his article and send it to you, because he was complaining the cost of the game, and I'm like, why is he complaining about the cost of the game? I said, I understand the fatality things, but like the amount, I mean, when I saw them, they were cheap. They weren't that much. It was like $2.99, $1.99, but and then they have different layers of packages and stuff like that, and it can get pretty expensive. I didn't understand that they were gone after you use them. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So I was like, do I want this game?
Well, dude, honestly, that part of it, that wouldn't prevent me or get me to buy or not buy the game. I just thought it was interesting
because like when I figure out I can't do the fatality I want to do, I don't know about you, but I always have a few bucks on my Xbox Live or my my PlayStation. I always got like a few dollars. So I'll be playing Call of Duty and I want like a skin for my gun and it's like $1.99 and I'll buy it, right?
Yeah.
But I know that skin is mine. So like I know what's gonna happen to me, right? I'm gonna get lazy one day. I'm gonna have like $6 left. I'm like, I want a fatality. Yeah, buy it. And then after I use it, I don't got it no more. I'm gonna be bet, yo.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. Because of the way Mortal Kombat is, I remember how in the very first game, when you would play as like Liu Kang or whoever you would play as, you played with that character enough times that you learned how to do both of those fatalities, and they weren't really that difficult to do.
No, they
really the main issue with those fatalities on any of those games was remembering where you had to position yourself in order to do it.
Where exactly, because you could pull
because
it off
that wasn't always
standing in the right place. You wouldn't get it.
That wouldn't always be very clear unless you knew exactly what was going to happen and where you had to stand in order to kick it off.
You actually kind of had to learn it from like when the computer did it to you.
Yeah, you had to learn it at that point, right? But my thing is this: from watching a lot of the Mortal Kombat, and I've been watching a lot of it on Twitch. I forget who it was, Own and this new streamer called Tasachka, I think is her name. She was playing it. This other guy named Cone, Cohn or Cohh, and I forget what the rest of his tag is. I'll put it in the stream feed. But they play a lot of Mortal Kombat, and the thing that I was looking at, of course, as a lot of you guys who play Mortal Kombat X now, is the faction. And the faction portion of it I thought was real interesting. Between the faction and, of course, the what is it, the crypt or whatever,
Yeah,
where you
right.
like do all the unlocking and everything, right?
Right.
So the thing that people have been raving about, of course, is like all the faction. They were like, oh, the faction portion of the online is really, is what kind of pulls you into wanting to play and play more. Because, they make it like a faction war kind of thing, right? So, they'll have like a specific time frame where you'll be able to choose a faction. And then anything you do in the game, whether it's single player, versus, or, whatever, you'll gain faction points or whatever, right? And you'll be able to contribute to the war. And I forget what you're actually able to do if your faction wins or any of that stuff. But, it kind of enhances the amount of coins that you get. And then if you get more coins, you can unlock more. If you're able to unlock more, then, you'll just be able to enjoy the game more and more and more, because you'll have, like, I don't even know how many fatalities each person has, but they've got fatalities and brutalities.
Right.
And, dude, some of those brutalities, I was like, oh, my gosh.
Brutalities are sick, man. I saw a couple of them. They're just, like, crazy.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. I mean, the game looks beautiful. And the one thing that has always got me, not always, but most of the time got me about Mortal Kombat was the block button. I could never get over that control scheme. Being somebody that has played a lot of like Tekken or Soul Calibur or Street Fighter, all of those games, you press back and it blocks. But Mortal Kombat was like the first and one of the only ones where in order for you to block, you had to press the button.
Yep.
And apparently that's back.
Yep.
So what I saw was interesting. I was actually watching, you remember Kevin Pereira from Attack of the Show?
Yep.
I was watching him play it. And it was either him or somebody else. And they had an arcade stick. They had, just like I said that I was going to get, right? A big old arcade stick or whatever. And they were saying the issue that they were having was because of the way everything was mapped out on a particular arcade stick, they were having a problem trying to figure out where the best placement was for the block button. Because they were finding, because they didn't have it, because it wasn't set up the way they wanted it set up or whatever, that it was kind of uncomfortable for them to find a good space to have the block button and use it all the time. Whereas with a control pad, since you got buttons that you can use on your left hand also for like the trigger and the bumper, that it was a bit easier for them to block when they were using a control pad rather than a fight stick.
Yeah, I used to map it to the back button.
What, the block?
Yep.
You would map it to the back button?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah. Not all Mortal Kombat did it, but like you could in some of them you couldn't remap the buttons, and you can assign where you wanted it to be. Mm-hmm. And I would push the back button because that's what I was used to, because that's every way I did it. Mm-hmm. But the only problem with that, it was hard to move backwards.
Yeah, and I was
and that's kind of the thing, because in the way they had it in other games is like Street Fighter, if you held back, it would hold it back, but if you tap back, you would walk back. So you would have to know which one to do to move backwards or just block. Right. And that's kind of a thing. I different games I move it around. It wasn't like a big thing to me because Mortal Kombat's more of an offensive fighter game anyway.
Yes, it is. Good Lord, yes.
I mean, and the only thing that would kill me on the higher levels, because like when you went on your step ladder there, right?
Yep.
Like you would go through halfway of it, and most of it's not that challenging until you probably get to your last 4 or 5 guys, and then they'd run those super wicked combos on you. What I would hate is they knew what I was going to do before I even did. So if I thought about jumping and I hit that jump button while I'm in the air, they're already in their block stance already.
Done, son.
And if you don't know combos to get them out of that, that's it, dude. They would catch you everything. It was just brutal.
That's what this game is. And that, as I was watching it,
Well, I saw a guy get done up by Katana. He was fighting this guy, right? Caught him with a fan, right? And when he was getting hit back by the fan because it kind of stunned you, he was going back like, dude hits, Katana comes, catches him with an uppercut, and while he's in the air, catches him with the fan again. And when dude lands, catches him with a whirlwind spin.
Yep.
And like I would say about 60 to 70% of his energy was gone.
Yep.
And there was nothing you could do about that.
Yes, actually there is though. That's the thing. That's what I was recognizing. I was like,
it didn't
for
seem
most
like this
players,
guy could do anything.
Well, yeah, that's because he doesn't know how to play the game well. And that's what I found out. The way they have this structured, which is actually pretty nice. The way they have it structured is you can't, if you get hurt up early in the game and you don't get any hits,
they have that hit build.
Then essentially you're done. You have to get some hits because you know that bar at the bar at the bottom.
Yeah, they got that hit builder at the bottom.
Yeah,
so,
I can't remember the hit builder. If you have to be very smart about when you use your breaker, because that is like key for anybody that's learning how to play the game and anybody that's
right. It'll either save your life or you could finish the character off really quickly.
Right, exactly. Or because it's like you have to be very strategic about when you use it.
Right.
And essentially that ends up being one of the big strategies of how, I guess you could say, the pro players end up playing the game. They'll build it up, they'll use their combo if they manage to get the right combo in
right,
there.
and then finish you off with that thing, dude. I would die.
Yep.
I would literally get raped all the time.
Right, and the key is sometimes as long as you aren't being juggled or whatever, you can actually, if you time it right, you can either block or you can actually get an attack in there if it's the right attack. And it's a matter of knowing what your quickest attacks are and like what proximity you have to be in order to get the attack off or break their attack. You just have to know your character really, really well and its attack and their attacks and be able to pull it off at the right moment in order for you to break certain combos without using the breaker.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's, as with any good fighting game, it's one of those where you have to practice a lot, you have to play a lot, learn each character, all of their moves and all of their combos. Because right now, most of the people that I watch, they've got like one combo that they know.
Right.
And that's
you'll
like
see
most
that
of the
change.
decent people.
Right.
They know like one combo, and that's essentially all they'll use.
Right. And once, because this guy, he was using Reptile, and he was just using this one, nothing fancy, just this one combo move, and he was working through a lot of it. When he couldn't get past, or he was having a hard time with a character, he starts doing it, and it was like, I'm like, you pulling the herb move,
right?
Because he couldn't get past.
Yeah, and then I was watching some dude doing the same thing with Goro, because Goro's his combo is like this punch walk. That's all they call it. It's a herb punch walk, and all he does is just punch down, and he just walks across the screen, and that's all he does for his combo.
Right.
And everybody's like, boo, somebody's using, Goro because that's all he does. But, dude, it's a freaking effect.
Right, but what happened...
It's easy to pull off, too.
It's easy to pull off, but then when they get higher up in the ranking, and then that move start getting blocked, then it gets stuck.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, because this happened to that guy. I forgot what he did, but his tier was high. He had at least like 20 people on it, and he got through like the first 10 doing that move. And then he got to Katana, and she wasn't falling for the okie doke. She lit him up quick.
Yep. A lot of people were saying that a lot of the female characters in this game, they're just so quick.
They're quick.
I mean,
and they're
so quick that it's hard, depending on what character you're using, it's really hard to break some of their combos because they're so fast.
Yeah, Jax, there was this guy that was using, he was playing the story mode, and he got to Jax's daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, she is wicked beach. Yeah, because she got these two things on her arm, just like Jax, but hers are smaller.
Yeah.
And so she got some hard-hitting combos, but it's still quick, though. And I was like, yo. Yep. I was just interested to play with her. I'm like, damn, I could really I was watching her moves. I'm like, yo, I bust somebody up.
Yeah, and I think it's good that they have like the 3 different fighting styles with every character.
Yeah,
where it, like yeah, where in essentially the different fighting styles, what it ends up doing, from what I could tell, is some of your special attacks are, they either do more damage and have less range, or they have more range or are quicker. You know, it essentially changes the some of the characteristics of some of the special attacks that you have. So like Raiden, you know, if you I forget which one, all the different kinds. Like with Raiden, certain electrical attacks, they'll be stronger, but they won't go all the way across the board. Or they'll be weaker and they'll go all the way across the board. You know, that kind of thing. You know, it'll switch up different special attacks and all that other kind of stuff for each character, as well as, you know, the way they look. So, you know, I think that's cool that they have that. I'm certain more other fighting games do that as well, but I just thought that was cool. That was you know, it adds a lot of nice gameplay in there.
Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, you know, a lot of people have been commenting just, you know, the scenery and the stuff and the environments that you can use. There was one that I saw you could grab a dead body and slap somebody with it. That was funny.
Actually, there's one where there's this old lady that's walking by. You can pick her up and just sling it at them.
Yeah, those are funny. So I looked at it and because I wasn't sure. And,
well, actually, and you know what else I heard? And this is from everybody that I've seen that's played it. They said the story mode is great.
I watched a guy play maybe like a good half an hour of the story mode. I was switching back and forth between people, but I liked it. I thought it was very good.
Yeah.
You know, and I like the beginning. Well, I won't give it away. No spoilers here, but I like the opening sequence there. I thought that just kicked off the story, and it had me interested from the beginning. It wasn't something that, like, you know, you got a third of the way through the story and like, oh, this is good. But like from the beginning, I'm like, ooh, that's cool. I want to know what happens. You know, they just gave me enough to want me, you know, to hook me into to do that. And a lot of games, especially this kind of game, doesn't really do something like that for you.
Right.
So I was actually pretty interested. So I may break down and do it because I'm still, you know, I got about 3 weeks to go for my game. Right. And then after that, I'll be doing Batman, which I wouldn't be surprised if they pushed it back another year. Because that game just looks fantastic, man. They just be getting you open off of it, and I want to play it so bad, but it's just like, I understand they want to get it right. I mean, there's been a lot of next gen tobacco, so
yeah.
I get it, and I appreciate them doing that. You know, giving you the best experience you get for both games. Because I mean, Witcher for me is probably going to be the more important game because for some reason I have a feeling that's going to be the game of the year. But I want to actually play it and then have it right. I don't want it to be like a Skyrim on PlayStation 3 where, you know, you had to wait like, you know, 6 months before they got it right. You know, and you had to mess around. So from what I've seen of it, I mean, everybody's been, you know, the big game, you know, reviewers been getting like copies of it, and you know, they've been giving you little pieces, 10 minutes here, 15 minutes here, you know. Yeah. And I just been like, I've been watching those videos. I'm like, I want my turn.
I hear you.
Yeah, so I'm hyped for that. I'll probably be buried in that for a couple months because they're talking about 200 hours worth if you do everything.
Yeah.
So, and me, I like those games. I like beefing up my guys, so I will be getting the 200 hours into that. Definitely will be doing that. I'll be my next Skyrim.
Yeah. Witcher 3. Oh my gosh.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether I'm going to take the plunge on it as of yet. I haven't even taken the plunge on the second one yet.
Well, you know what? At this point, the way the third one is structured, from what I can see, of course, I don't have any first-hand experience, but from what I can see, it's gonna be it's except for like probably the combat portion,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like a completely different game
Mm-hmm.
because the Witcher 2, you know, the it was open world, but it was you had to unlock areas, and once you open an area and you move forward into it, you couldn't go back.
Right.
So that was one of the downers I didn't like about it, and the map was kind of
Yep,
like
looks like the Cavs won, and the Wizards are about to win.
The Wizards are about to win. I'm watching it here too.
Oh, you watching? I'm sorry.
I'm multitasking, son.
Same here.
So that aspect of it, that's one of the things I didn't like about it. That you couldn't go back. So if there were certain things you wanted to do, but you wanted to progress in a certain way, if you left that area, that was it. And they gave you strict warning, hey, you leave this area, you're stuck.
Right.
And that was the one thing I didn't like about it. But from what I've seen of this, it's just open world. You can do in any sequence. You can go forward. You can go back. The whole nine, which I do like. So at this point, I wouldn't play it. I just think it's going to be a completely like how Dragon Age is like a completely different game from the other ones.
Yeah.
It's like it's good enough to stand on its own. And that's just my impression from what I'm seeing. But
we'll definitely see, because like I said, I'm kind of at a point right now where it's not that I'm saving up for that one great game that I'm gonna get before it hits Halo time, because I'm telling you right now, you know me, I love Halo, but when Halo comes out, that's gonna be all I'm messing with over the holiday season. That's just gonna be me. I'm gonna be all Haloed out.
Dude, I think it's going to be a lot of people. There's a couple of games coming out at the end of the year that are going to be good. Halo 5 is definitely one for me too. That's going to suck up a lot of my time, so I would definitely be into that. I'm just going to wear that out.
Yes, sir.
And us, I'm sure the campaign will be short. And
who knows what it'll be? I don't know.
I'm thinking
the way that little trailer looked like it could have multiple endings or something like that. So it could be one of those where whoever this new Spartan ends up becoming the new savior rather than Master Chief, or the other way around. You know what I mean? It sounds like it's
right. It had some quirky things there. I think Master Chief definitely has to be the savior, because it would just get a lot of people upset.
Well, again, that's why I think it has multiple endings, so that you can see, so you can kind of see what possibilities are really out there. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
I mean, regardless what it is, I think it's still going to be a good game. 343 did a fantastic job with Halo 4, which I was just shocked at. I love that game. That's got to be one of my favorites. So, I mean, that was awesome. So I know Halo's gonna be there, and I forgot there's another. I gotta look again, man. I'm getting old. I can't remember the end of the
really? You're getting old? What? No.
There's a couple end of the year games that are coming out that I've been waiting for. I gotta go look it up because. There's some that are dropping in December there.
Video game releases 2015.
Yeah.
What do we got here, ladies and gentlemen? That's upcoming, aside from Rock Band, which I will be all into. Witcher 3 is coming. Witcher 3 in May. Witcher 3.
Right. So we've got
Arkham Knight in June. We've got Oh, Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain.
I'll probably be skipping that.
Still a big game. Still a big game.
It's still a big game. So you got Halo, right? You got Battlefront. That's another big one.
Yep. I'll be all over that. Assassin's Creed Victory. I'll probably pass, but that's another big one.
Yeah. And Uncharted was one, but they got pushed back.
Blood Bowl 2. I actually want to try that. Surprisingly, I have always wanted to play Blood Bowl. It's always been too expensive because I didn't feel like paying full price for a game that looks like it was made back in 1999. But I may actually try this version of it. I love playing like simulation style sports games. So
yeah, I tend to stay away from those.
I like those. Oddly enough, I'll probably pass on Dead Island 2, just for the mere fact that that Dying Light has really sated my zombie fighting for the year. Honestly.
Yeah, and
I love that game, and I'm almost done with it. But Dreadnought. I am definitely getting Dreadnought. You remember I was telling you about that, right?
Yeah. I was.
I don't know when that's coming out, but I'm definitely getting that.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about that at the end of the year, though. What?
Oh, they haven't. They haven't talked about. I mean, they haven't released a whole lot about Dreadnought. I think at what was it, PAX East? They kind of had an alpha, so it's kind of new.
Okay.
You know. No, 210. We haven't talked about Battlefront yet. We do need to. But yes.
Well, I haven't seen much on Battlefront, just except
they
for
have
the
a trailer.
Yeah, the trailers. I mean, that's it. I mean, there's nothing exciting yet, except for the new Star Wars movie, which
which I think it's supposed to tie into. From what I did hear about it, they what it's supposed to be, and for those of you guys who don't really remember or know much about Battlefront, it's basically a Star Wars version of Battlefield. But the way that it was different, kind of different was, from what I can remember, it wasn't necessarily first-person shooter. It was more of a third-person shooter.
It was a third person, and it didn't remind me of Battlefield at all.
Well, I mean, in a sense, they kind of crafted it in that same sense, because I think DICE even did the first one, right?
I believe they did. Yeah, DICE. I think they did. I think they did the first one.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
But I mean, it was still Conquest, so you still had. It was the same. It was the same. I guess you'd say theme. You're in a big battle that has a lot of people. It has a lot of vehicles, and you're going after like spawn points, and you take those spawn points until the other side's tickets run down, just like in a Battlefield game. But I think the biggest differences were they had bots in Battlefront. Number one,
they had a lot of bots, so they would always fill it in. So your matches would always be, 64 players, whatever it was, and you could tell the bots because they're kind of retarded.
Yeah, and also they would have it where if you got like a kill streak or something like that you were able to take on the role of a hero. Right,
like a Darth Vader or a Luke.
Right, you could use the Force on somebody, use a lightsaber.
Dude, I love running around as Darth Vader, that. Because I'd be blocking everybody's stuff with lightsaber, chop them up.
So
when I lose it, I'd be mad.
Let's see, here's a little bit about it, and I'm on theguardian.com. They have a little bit of info about Battlefront. They were saying that at the Star Wars Celebration, they had a whole lot of information, a whole lot of stuff where they talked about not only the movie a little bit, but they talked about the game there. They said the characters in Star Wars Battlefront will be customizable, but with rigidly defined limits. You'll be able to select weapons, gear, abilities, and different alien species. But you won't be able to, and apparently I guess that includes messing around with some of the heroes. So it'll be interesting to see kind of what direction what kind of direction they take with it. It's supposed to have a cap of about 40 players at one time, and it's supposed to give you the ability to play in either first or third person perspective. So you can play it in first person perspective.
Nice.
And also, if you like pre-order the game, you'll be able to get what is called Battle of Jakku, the expansion pack, which apparently one of the main battles or big battles is in Force Awakens. So they talked a bit about what's in there, but it looks like what they'll end up doing is they'll end up having a majority of the big battles in all of the older Star Wars movies as usual. You know what I mean? They would always have, like, Battlefront 2, they had all of the Tatooine and Hoth and Endor and all those other
Right.
locations and stuff. What I think will be interesting though is whether or not they are going to have I guess a Star Battle only mode. You know what I mean? Where it's just X-Wings and TIE fighters or whatever for particular battles and stuff.
That'd be nice, like some aerial battles and stuff like that. That'd be sweet.
Because they kind of do that on Battlefield, where they'll aerial superiority or whatever is what they call it. So you're only playing as helicopters or only playing as jet fighters or whatever. So it'd be interesting to see whether or not their development that they decide, hey, we're going to stick a mode in here, even if it's DLC only, that, hey, we're going to stick a mode in here where we're going to do the Death Star battle and everybody is in an X-Wing or a TIE fighter or something like that.
Oh, dude, that'd be freaking fun.
Yeah, or, one person could be, in a really big turret that's on the Death Star or something like that, or one person be on a turret that's on one of the battle cruisers for the Rebels or something like that.
Right.
I think that would be awesome if they had something like that as well in Battlefront. Because, I mean, if you think about it, they've got to do something. They've got to do something more than just reskin Battlefield and make it third person. You know what I mean? They got to do something more than what they did in Battlefront in the past. Other than, hey, let's put big heads, or allow you to put, different color armor on a stormtrooper or something goofy.
Right,
like that. You know what I mean?
Give him a red sash or.
Yeah, they got to do something at least slightly innovative in how you play Battlefront as compared to how it was in the past. So, we'll see. We'll see. I'm certain that we'll start getting a lot more information about it. It's supposed to come out in November, which is interesting because it's going to be competing with Halo, which is an interesting decision.
Right, and the Call of Duties too.
Right, yeah. Call it, what is that? Black Ops. Is it a
3.
new Black Ops? Black Ops 3 or something that they announced? Yeah. Yep.
So we haven't gotten much there. But speaking of that, what do you think about the Star Wars trailer?
Dude, I wasn't as open as Matthew McConaughey apparently was with him crying and everything. That was hilarious. I mean, that's good. Hey, he's an actor. He knows how to work it. But when I saw Han and Chewie, I couldn't help myself but smile. You know what I mean? Yeah. I instantly. You know what?
The first thing that when you mentioned that scene, the first thing I noticed, I'm like, damn, Chewie ain't even getting old.
How would you know with all that hair? I mean, aside from maybe his hair getting gray or something, right, how would you know?
That's what I'm saying. Like, well, dude, like, in the other Star Wars, they had some older, what you call them, Wookiees. So freaking, like, I figured Chewie would have a little bit of gray hair, He
I have no idea.
Man. Yeah, he had nothing. He looked better than he did in the first trilogy. I'm like,
I don't know, but I couldn't help but smile. I mean, hearing Mark Hamill talk through it, doing like the intro and whoever it was he was talking to. Seeing that one scene with the Star Destroyer in the ground, crashed on the ground and everything, and the what is it, the sand speeder or whatever going past with the broken Star Destroyer in the background.
Oh, I love the TIE fighter scene when they're going across the water. So
a lot
of good stuff there, but
it was I don't know. It was.
Well, I mean, they're not giving you much. I mean, they're just giving you some nice CGI and
as usual.
As usual. But,
and whoever that Sith was, if they showed, I don't know.
Right, in the first one. Yeah. But all in all, I'm geeked out for some Star Wars. I mean,
I instantly, the second I saw it, I came home. I skipped the very first prequel. I went to Attack of the Clones and started watching them. Just so I could, get back into my Star Wars geekdom or whatever. I forgot how much I missed that whole frenzy or whole craze. Even when the prequels were out, the craze, that was there when each one of those movies were getting ready to come out or, were coming out was just, it's a priceless feeling. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, Star Wars is something you grew up with as a kid, so what they do is and I think what brings true to the fans is that they don't change the theme music, and I think that's what gets people a lot. It's just hearing that music again
Williams.
and again. It's the legend, man. I mean, it's beautiful every time you hear it. I mean, so there's just something about it when you hear the Tatooine song with Luke Skywalker. It just brings chills on you, and you're like, you know what? I can't wait.
I can't. I'm
neither can I. But getting on some more movie stuff. What about the Batman trailer? Did you see that? Batman.
I didn't see it, and I don't want to see it. Honestly, I don't even want to see the movie anymore. I'm just done. I'm already done. I don't.
How could you be done and you haven't seen it yet?
Dude, let me put it to you this way.
I'm curious to know why you done it. You haven't even seen it.
Honestly, Jay, I wasn't really too thrilled about the whole idea of Batman versus Superman when they announced it. It wasn't something that made me so hype. Even with them saying that this is Dawn of Justice, I don't know, dude. I wasn't psyched about it after seeing Man of Steel, even though I enjoyed Man of Steel. I was just like, dude, no, I don't want this. And let me put and I'll put
I don't want it.
I don't. And let me put it to you this way. So far, everything that we've heard about Dawn of Justice has been about who's playing what superhero and what superhero, which is all fine, which is all good. But we all know the one thing that makes any superhero movie is the villain. If you don't have a good villain or a great person playing the villain or a believable or, something that makes all of your heroes be in a desperate situation, then there's no point of having the movie. What was good in Avengers was Loki, even though he wasn't all powerful, he was crafty enough that the Avengers were in a bad space.
Yes.
And in Dark Knight, freaking Joker. The Joker's just awesome. I mean, even Bane is a decent, villain, even though I hated him in that movie. I mean,
they could have made him a little better.
Yeah, they could have made him a little better. But you see what I'm saying, though. When you're watching these superhero movies, the thing that makes it good or bad is the villain. Daredevil, the Daredevil movie.
Well, they haven't announced
in that movie was
have
horrible.
they announced it? Have they announced the villain for?
No, I don't think they have. I haven't heard.
I mean, it's got.
Well, no, I take that back. I do remember hearing. I forget who they said is going to be playing Lex Luthor. I don't know if he's going to be the only villain. But I think the guy who played in what is that guy's name? The guy who played in The Social Network.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Curly hair guy.
Yeah, I think he's supposed to be Luthor. I think.
I think it's Jesse something.
Yeah, I think he's Luthor. Yes, Jesse Eisenberg. Yes,
that's it.
Tut 210. Yes, he put it out for me. Yes, and I think that's a great choice. I really do. I think he's a good actor. I think he could probably pull it off. And
I don't know. You know why? Like,
but
they
I
pick
don't.
some of these weird guys because, like, you know what? I'm used to Lex Luthor being a tall guy, right?
Hmm?
And suave, and the character he plays, he just talks nerdy. He does.
Hey, he might surprise you. He might surprise you.
I don't think so. I mean, he talks nerdy. He talks too fast and like he's on speed or something, you know. And
Well, yeah, he does talk really fast. He does.
Right, and
that's in every movie he's in.
Yeah, and I've seen it in a couple movies, and sometimes the role fits. Like in The Social Network, it worked.
Yeah, it definitely fit in that movie. He was
right.
perfect.
He was in there. Now You See Me, and it worked in that
I love
too.
That. Mm-hmm.
Right, and that was a good flick. But I can't see him. There's no part of his acting persona, if you will say, you know, that he would give me that the Lex Luthor. I can't see it. And the thing is, he's like what, 5'7", 8 at best. And I always, and from what I've seen from the comic books and other people that played Lex Luthor, he's a smart guy. He's very calm, which this guy, his personality just isn't calm. And
he can be.
Yeah, I don't know.
He can be.
Well, I'd be impressed if he makes a good Lex Luthor. And
well, I'll say this much. I was less worried about him being cast as Lex Luthor than I was with the rest of the casting for some of the heroes.
Well, right. Some of the heroes. Gal?
Gal Gadot or whatever her last name is.
Yeah, Googly Moogly. I mean, she's. I saw her in.
I reserve judgment for that. I don't know how good or bad she's going to be. I just can't see her as Wonder Woman.
Body-wise, I just can't see it.
You know, I'm like, okay, whatever. That's their choice. That doesn't make or break it for me. You know,
no, it doesn't.
They can pull
what I'm saying
something
is
out
like,
of their ass with that.
Right.
That flick almost killed it for me. I'm just not a.
But here's the thing: he can pass. He can pass as a Batman. You know,
of course he can. Batman's just drab. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I just don't like Ben Affleck. That's probably all it is for that.
I mean, I get that, but like, you know, he can pass as a Batman. Dude, if they can pull off, if they can pull off, what's his name is freaking Batman. I think just about anybody can play Batman. Like Christian Bale?
Not even Christian Bale. You know what I'm talking about. The first one. Well, not the very first one, but the first movie.
I know who you're talking about. Michael Keaton.
Yeah, if they can pull off Keaton as Batman, then yeah, Ben Affleck can be Batman.
And you know what? When they did announce Michael Keaton was going to be Batman, everybody was like,
what the fuck? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. And then he pulled it off, you know?
And we all liked it, so, you know,
but again, guess who he had as a villain?
Joker.
Well, not only the Joker, but who was playing the Joker? Jack Nicholson. I'm like, yo, if anybody can pull off and make a movie freaking fantastic, it's Jack.
He did.
You know, that's what I'm saying. It's like, yo, hey, I could be Batman in that movie.
I'm Batman.
You stick me next to him and say, dude, it's going to be a great movie.
Who's in it? DJ Brown. I don't know who that is.
Who the fuck is Batman?
He's an open cover.
Apparently. But, you know, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
I reserve judgment. The trailer, I did see the trailer. I did watch it. It was
but
very
I will
dramatic.
ask you this: Did it get you open? Were you still buzzed about it after you saw it?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right now, I'm not ready to go pre-order a ticket. I'll say that much.
Oh well, no, I definitely have I don't think it's gonna be.
I'm ready to pre-order a freaking Avengers ticket right now. I mean, I have no freaking problem dropping some coinage to go watch that. I'm hyped.
Rolling over to Avengers, just from the last trailer that I saw, the only thing that I am not happy to see, they had a scene in there, which because I was a little disappointed with Iron Man 3, but the end scene with Iron Man 3 where they had him fighting all his suits, it kind of looked like they were pulling that same script out with Ultron when he goes, he gives a statement. He says, hey, it's all of you against all of me, and then you see all the robots come out and stuff like that. And I just hope it's not that same sequence of fighting, going on at the end of that movie, because I would be really upset with that. So that's the only thing that got me there. The other trailer that I thought looked really good was the new Fantastic Four. They have a second trailer out there, which looks
I saw that.
Fantabulous. Now I know you got to get hype over that one. That one looks freaking good.
It looks good. I'm not certain if I'm ready to pre-order a ticket, but I do want to go see it. Just mainly because I've never really been a big Fantastic Four fan. But just for the mere fact, I love superhero movies. I love Michael B. Jordan, and I love the cast that they have in this movie.
So do I.
So
I like it because they're a lot younger, and they have it seems like there's a little bit better backstory than the first set of Fantastic Four movies. So
yes. So
not to take anything away from those, because I enjoy those also.
Yeah, they were decent. They weren't bad. They
weren't bad. They were definitely watchable.
They definitely weren't Green Lantern. Excuse me.
And that's another one they really desperately need to remake.
Oh, they have no choice. They've got to do something because they're doing Justice. Justice. I don't know who they've selected yet. I don't know if they've announced it even, but they got to do somebody.
They got to do that, and I know they got Black Panther coming up, and I'm hyped about that.
Super hyped. I'm hype about that. I'm hype about Captain Marvel. I'm actually almost hype about Ant-Man.
No.
That trailer actually looked good.
Dude, man. Hey, Paul Rudd, man. What the hell, yo?
I don't know. There was something about it. It actually made me want to see the movie. I'm not going to pre-order the ticket, but I might actually go watch the movie.
Oh, man. It's just, I don't know, bro. It's... They're trying
thumbs up for Buddy, thumbs down for Thicky.
Yeah, maybe, but no.
Okay, so I'll go see Ant-Man, you go see Batman vs. Superman, and then, we'll tell each other.
I'm definitely going to go see Batman vs. Superman. I think the verse in there, I think, is just probably about for the first hour of the movie. I think it's going to be a thing where Batman, because the way the way they start off these the trailer, they're dissing Superman. They know who he is now, that he's here, and they're calling him the false god and all this stuff, and they're not really sure about his intentions.
Dude, and they should skip out on the whole League of Justice thing, and they should just jump from Man of Steel to freaking Injustice. If DC did that, they would kill Marvel off top. I'm telling you, that's all they got to do. Bump all this Dawn of Justice stuff. Just jump into freaking Injustice and make Superman a freaking villain. Oh my god, that would be so hype.
It would, but nah,
they'll never do it though. DC sucks that way. They'll never do that. Injustice is so freaking good. It is unbelievable how good Injustice in that storyline is. If DC
it is, but the thing is, they're gonna have to build a lot of backstories with characters. So
they have to, because Injustice is just there's just too much going on there.
Right, you couldn't jump into that. You have to give something.
Yeah, you would.
Even if you made another movie just to introduce a whole gang load of characters, you'd have to do that.
Yeah.
So, but that.
They
that
still got it
cool.
in their back pocket though.
I think they'll pull the card out, but
I don't think they will.
Batman versus, I think the first half of the movie, you're gonna have Batman and Superman just exploit each other up a little bit there, and I think once that's done, then they're gonna team up at the end and they're gonna become best friends, and they're gonna share some mochaccino lattes together in the back. And all the gravy. That's just a thought of mine. That's possibly going to happen. Mm-hmm. But you should watch the trailer. I think you're going to like it. I think you're gonna feel a little different about it.
Yeah, I gotta stop poo-pooing it. I gotta watch it.
And I know the Ben Affleck thing got a lot of people. Dude, it got me, man. I'm like, why couldn't you just get Christian Bale and call it a day, man? I'd rather.
I got a frog in my throat. Stop it.
Luke, I'm your father.
Like, oh, hold up.
Hey, who is my father? I'm Batman. Stop.
Oh, man.
I love you, son.
I know.
You are an American psycho.
Well, before we get up out of here, I did want to say talk about one last thing, and this will be quick. And I don't remember if I even talked about this last week, but Five Nights at Freddy is actually getting a movie.
Yes, I saw that one too. That was another one I wanted to talk about.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out how the hell they gonna do that.
Well, dude, actually, you know what's hilarious about that game is I was talking to my son about it even before they talked about the movie. There's a crap ton of backstory to these games. It's more than just freaking Chuck E. Cheese comes alive and kills like a security guard, which is basically what each one of the games are. There's so much backstory and themes, and theories to each one of these games that's ridiculous. It's amazing. It's amazing how much mystery and how much, I guess you could say, backstory that this one guy, Scott, what's his name, Cawthorn or something like that, has woven into this game that's ridiculous. Like I was telling you before, my son, he's never played this game before. He's only like watched it a few times, but he and his friend, he basically tells me, he's like, every day he and his friends talk about the different theories and stuff, like why is Freddy, the bear character in the first one, trying to kill you in the first one, but he's not trying to kill you in the second one. The other characters are. And then why is it that, this character is in the second one, but he's not in the fourth one, in the third one, just little stuff like that. And it's amazing how much is in there. And then on top of that, it's amazing how, I guess, low tech the graphical quality of these games are, and yet all it takes is one screenshot and anybody is just instantly creeped out. The imagery in that game is very, very
Dude, what gets me
is very powerful.
Is the stupid little cameras, man. Those things drive me nuts.
Yeah. It's wild. And then, like the little sound effect whenever one of those things jumps out at you, it's just screechy. It's just like, it's like, okay, stop.
The reason why I get you and why I think it's so well done is because to guard everything, you really got to pay attention.
Yes.
Right? And because you're paying attention so hard on guarding it, at one point you forget
you let your guard down, and then something just jumps out. He's like,
right, and that's when you start getting caught up, and that's when things get you a little bit.
It's an ingenious concept. It is very, very admirable that this guy was able to weave that kind of a storyline into a very simple game concept, so that there's more to it than you just playing through it, surviving the night through all those different nights, and then the game being over and it just be over. Just there's so much there's little nuggets, little Easter eggs in like the newspaper clippings or in the voicemail messages. I was seeing people talk about that. Some of the voicemail messages, they're like, okay, who actually kills the guy on the voicemail? They're like near the end on like one of the last nights or something like that. You hear that he dies, but you don't know which character killed him, and you're starting to think about it. Well, if all the characters are after you in your store, then what character or who is actually going after him and killing him? So it's like little weird stuff like that and little details like that, have kept people really, really interested in this game. And I really think that if any video game movie could do well and be good, my thought is this one could be one of the first ones. That, it wouldn't take, you know how like with most video games, you're sitting here thinking, oh, if I've never played the video game, I'm not going to be able to appreciate the movie, or the movie's just going to suck off top. I think Nights at Freddy's could be one of those games where it doesn't matter.
Been done, and I can see that because that game, it's simplistic enough where you could put it on the screen and get a lot more of it because you're not visually looking at anything. And I think that's what ruins video game movies, is because we see so much of the character in different situations. When that expectation isn't met on screen,
Yeah.
it kills it for us.
Right.
Right. So but this game, it doesn't do that.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, you get little snippets of things here and there, and it's very small, and most of the storyline is through you know, the written word. You got to read it, or it's little clues in the game about what's happening. You're not actually seeing it. So I think you can do a lot with that, because you can fill in a lot of gaps with the movies. With video games that are popular, like the Halos and stuff like that, there's not much to fill in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know it
it's
all
fleshed
already.
out so much in the game that you're like, okay, I know the whole storyline. They better follow the daggone game.
Right. And if they don't, you know, you're like, no, this sucks. I mean, I think that's what made Mortal Kombat movies so bad. You know, we knew exactly what was going on. I mean, I think there was probably...
Yeah, Tut 210 is right. It could be easily done as a found footage horror movie. It really could.
Yeah. Right, and it would go great. I mean, you know, you could pull off a lot of good things with that. So I mean, that I agree with you. I think there's a lot of possibility. If they do it right, they could get a lot done with this flick right here.
Yeah, I really think it wouldn't be hard for them to do it. You know, do it well and do it right, and still have a lot of liberty or freedom with the license itself to kind of build their own story with it, and it still be accepted, you know, by the fans of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much all the time we have. Thank you guys so much once again for being with us. I know you always hear me say this, but Geekswagg, we are really, really moving along. We're building. We're trying to build a fan base. So tell your friends, tell your mama, tell your papa, tell your daddy.
Mama.
I mean, tell your friends, tell your mama's friends, tell your friends' mamas. All, you know, just tell everybody. Go and follow us on Twitch. HEED Geekswagg. Follow us on Twitter at the same tag. Follow us on Facebook. You can find us there as well. Just search for Heed Magazine Geekswagg Podcast. Follow us on all the social media, ladies and gentlemen. And also just check us out on YouTube. We've got videos on YouTube there as well. And you know, follow us, subscribe to us, get those numbers up, so that we can start bringing you more and more things, more and more interviews, more and more giveaways, all kinds of stuff. And we are definitely going to be here for you guys, giving you whatever it is you need to increase your geek, because that's what we're here to do, fill you guys in on some of the latest trends and some of the latest things in geekology. And
that's right.
So, you know, we're gonna, like I've always been saying, we're gonna try to get in more and more people in here that are more well versed in comics, as well as, and try to get some regular people that are well versed in comics, as well as maybe some anime experts, and hopefully even try to see if we can get some music people in here. I'm trying to put some things together to get some music acts or some artists that you may know, or probably it'll end up starting being people that you don't know until we get bigger. And you know, just try to mix things up here when it comes to getting guests here on Geekswagg. But we thank you guys for being here with us. I'm your boy Bunny 3000, along with
the most dirtiest. Don't forget to watch us on Twitch.
Yes.
Tomorrow and Thursday we will be doing NBA 2K15 extravaganza.
Yes. It's playoff time, baby.
All right, folks. Have a great evening.
Yes. Have a great evening, and we will see you guys when we see you. We love y'all. Peace.
Next week.